Good evening. Here we are for the last time. Well, we think we found a perfect way to spend our last evening together here on board. We're going to bring you full circle. Many of you know of the history that we have had with the Royal Viking Line years and years ago, and how that has kind of inspired and evolved us into where we are today. Well, we just so happen to have two young ladies who were performers on the Royal Viking Line, including some of the inaugural ships like the Royal Viking Sun. And now 30 years later, having not performed together in that entire time, they're here on our stage. So we're going to have a bit of a full circle moment. Please enjoy yourselves. Put your hands together. Happy days are here again with Julie and Diane.
Travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. See Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this timely tip? When you make that California trip, get your kicks on Route 66. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to share the stage with the director, the music director of Viking Cruises, Kyle Mattingly. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Diane Davidson.
And I'm Julie Elliott Scott.
And we wanted to open with Route 66 because I'm originally from Indiana and Julie
from Ohio originally.
And when we auditioned to perform on the Royal Viking Line, we kind of took that Route 66 and made our way over to California. And I'll never forget, will you, when we got to San Francisco and saw those ships?
The head offices of Royal Viking Line.
And we didn't know what we were in store for. We were just some Midwestern girls. This was, by the way, back, did we say, in the 1900s?
Well, I noticed that Mark said years and years ago.
Well, we were so blown away by the ships back then. We had never, had you been on a cruise before?
Never cruised. We had both auditioned in college and got picked up to do this.
Right.
And all of a sudden we found ourselves on Royal Viking Line, which in its day, state-of-the-art, Cadillac of the cruise lines. It was fantastic. And we were brought on as part of a vocal quartet and music director. And we stayed a long time. They loved us and we loved them. And honestly, we were with Royal Viking Line off and on, more on than off, through 10 to 12 years. And during those years, we visited every major port on 6 continents. So we were so proud to be a part of that line. It was incredible.
You know, Julie, one of the things I remember is that ship was the state of the art. I believe it was #1 at the time as well.
I think so.
And Torsten was at the time president and CEO, and he wanted to make sure that we had the best quality and the most wonderful, beautiful ship and experience for our passengers. And we are so excited to be here on the Shakedown Cruise to see that Torsten, 30 or so years later, his vision has remained the same, but with new technology. Like, for example, when we were on Royal Viking Line, we were the first cruise ship to have a computer on board. They brought on board an IBM 32, and one of the things that the technology folks were wondering was, how would the computer work on a moving ship? So now technology is amazing.
Something else, and this ship is incredible, as I'm sure you all feel the same. Back in those days, when we were part of this little group, we were called the Harbor Lights. And we would sing with full band all the time and do our shows, put them together when we got on board. This is us.
We did a lot of different kinds of shows. We did a Manhattan Transfer cover.
Oh, we did 20s, we did 40s, music theater, classical, all of these different things. We even sang at the church services on Sundays. So, but here we are.
That's right.
I think, you know, our hair has gotten a little smaller. We've got kind of that big 80s look. But anyway, we're going to give you just a little smattering of some music that we had done together. We haven't sung together for so long, but it's such a joy. And we're going to give you a few songs from probably our favorite genre, the 1940s.
Mr. Saturday Dance, I heard the crowd at the floor, couldn't bear it without you, don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club, I got as far as the door, they'd have asked me about you, don't get around much anymore. Well, darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up old memories? I've been invited on dates, I might have gone, but what for? Awfully different without you, don't get around much anymore. The more I see you, the more I want you. Somehow this feeling just grows and grows. With every sigh, I become more mad about you, more lost without you. And so it goes. Can you imagine how much I love you? The more I see you as the years go by, I know the only one for me can only be you. My arms won't free you, my heart won't try. Come on out, Julie.
Beautiful. Let's build a stairway to the stars, a lovely stairway to the stars, the moon above us as we go drifting along. We'll hear the sound of violins way out yonder where the blues begin, with love beside us to fill the night with a song. away now. Double day down, da do da do da sweet bam bye. Double pa dweep ba, double pa dweep ba, do bwee do bwee no bwee no bwee no bwee 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 ah. Wee da 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 da. Oh yeah. Double pa dweep ba, pa pa da pa da pa, do ah ba 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 ba. Can't we sail away on a lazy daisy pedal over the rim of a hill? Can't we sail away on a little dream and settle high on the crest of a thrill? Let's build a stairway to the stars and climb that stairway to the stars. It would be heaven to climb to that heaven with you. Thank you.
You know, Julie and I, this is the first time we've performed together since way back then, so this was just a dream for us. But when we met on Royal Viking, we knew instantly we were going to be best friends for life. What do we call that now?
BFFs.
BFFs.
We are
And
BFFs.
We looked at each other and said, you know, I bet we're going to grow old together.
And now, well, here we are.
Here we are.
We have to talk about this picture.
Oh, yeah.
I love this picture. This happens to be when two of the Royal Viking Line ships were passing at out on the ocean, and we are obviously in the picture of the ship that you can see the little corner down here looking across, way out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a big celebration when that happens. The balloons come out, the horns are blasting, it's great fun. I think you and I were up on the top of this ship because we had friends on the other ship, so we had big signs out for everybody to see. But oh my goodness, all the times we shared. So, and we've come through so many things together. And there we are. I think you could say we're Huckleberry friends.
Yes, we are.
Moon river wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker,
Well, one of the things that we were very fortunate to have on board was a fine band. Do you remember that?
Always bands from Poland in that day. There was a reason for that. Royal Viking was being very smart. The Polish bands at that time, what I understood was they had to be proficient on at least 3 instruments to have their work outside of the country. So if you were using a 7-piece band, then virtually you had a 21-piece band because they could cover any charts that we brought their way.
There they are. Those guys were funny.
And if any of you were on Royal Viking Line, you might remember this band. They were the most well-known through the years, Rama 111. They were stupendous, and we learned so much from them. We actually sort of became family with them, our little quartet.
We did. They started teaching us a little Polish, and so we learned how to count off tunes in Polish. Here we go.
So raz, dwa, trzy, cztery. We could always count the band in, those sort of things, but they were always up to Polish teaching.
They actually, I wanted to learn a little bit more Polish, and so I went up to, was it Teddy?
No, I know the story. It was not Teddy, it was Maciek. Maciek, the youngest of the group, kind of a sexy guy.
Oh, kind of sexy, but what he did, it was really silly. What he did is he said, Dianka, I want you to go say this to Teddy. So I went over to Teddy, and I had worked real hard at learning how to say this. So I walked up to Teddy, and I was excited. I said, Teddy, bombel tu bombel komi. And he goes, oh, Dianka, who told you to say that? And I said, well, Magic did. He said, don't let him teach you anymore. And I said, why? What did I say? He said, you said, with me, would you take a bubble bath?
So they were always teaching us bad things, but great guys. And your ties to Poland have
Yes,
continued.
actually, that was an amazing thing. I actually met a Polish band a few years back and have had the opportunity to tour with them. So I've sung in Poland. We were at the Dresden International Jazz Festival 3 years ago. Last year we performed in Switzerland. And we just actually got back just last month from the Czech Republic and a tour of Poland. So I thought, well, if I'm going to do all this touring with a Polish band, I probably need to learn more than just how to count off. So I learned a Polish song. So would you like to hear me sing in Polish? Yes? Okay, I might need a little help from you on this. Does anybody in the group speak Polish? Oh, good. So the critique shouldn't be too bad. Ty masz w sobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Ty masz w tobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Choć ludzie mówią mi, że dużo kobiet masz, że jesteś zimny dranie, że tylko sobie grasz. Ty masz w tobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. All right, will you clap with me now? That's better. That's what we needed. Here we go. Ty masz w tobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Ty masz w tobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Choć ludzie mówią mi, że dużo kobiet masz, że jesteś zimny dranie, że tylko sobie grasz. Ty masz w tobie coś, naprawdę takie coś. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Can you say kocham się? Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. One more time, kocham się. Ja w tobie szalenie kocham się. Kocham się.
So, look, Diane.
Aww.
Yes, of course, that's one of my pictures from my wedding day, and there's Diane, my maid of honor, of course. And so we had to share that. beautiful. And I have to tell you, though, it took me a long, long time to find my fellow. And so I did a lot of dating before I found my guy. And, you know, I gotta tell you, the number of weddings that I was in. Yes, I walked down the aisle as much as Liz Taylor, but I always stood off to the side. Each bride had me dressed in a gown I detest. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. For Catlin, I wore satin, which I really looked fat in. Then again, you should have seen her man Ken. All those calories he logged up till his arteries clogged up. He died on the couch a-watching ESPN. Too many weddings, too many dresses that all made my hips look so wide. Not a gown I'd reuse, ditto the matching shoes. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. For Tabitha, I wore taffeta. You should never. People laugh at you. But I had a hunch their marriage was doomed. The groom tried to stroke me while we danced the hokey pokey. They divorced before the honeymoon. Once my gown was velourish, made me look kinda whorish. But my best friend Dolores was never quite sane. She shot her new mister when he bedded her sister. He's not dead, but now he walks like John Wayne. Too many weddings, too many dresses that all made me look so thick-thighed. My friends can't assess a man or a dress. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. When I look in my closet, there's a rainbow deposit of gowns so grotesque that I groan. All those husbands are gone, but those dresses live on. Even moths seem to leave them alone. Too many weddings, too many messes, but at least I held on to my pride. I lived life alone, but the terms were my own. Always a bridesmaid. Thank you, Lord. Never a bride. Thank you. Another favorite jazz song. Georgia, Georgia, the whole day
Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. I'm talking about Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pine. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you, Georgia, Georgia. No peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly, still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you, Georgia, my sweet Georgia. No peace I find, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Oh yeah, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So this next song I want to tell you a little bit about, since we're talking about classics tonight. This is a classic but sort of a new classic, like the Viking Sun. This song, the lyrics to this song are by Johnny Mercer, and I'm sure a lot of you in the room know that Johnny Mercer was an incredible composer and lyricist for years and years. He wrote Moon River that we sang earlier. He wrote Autumn Leaves. The list goes on and on and on. He passed away in '76, and the story is that his widow came across in her attic a box full of lyrics that he had never put to music or had anybody else put to music. And so she contacted Barry Manilow. And so he was given the honor of putting music to these lyrics that had never been used and put it together. Then they called in Nancy Wilson, another classic, and she recorded these songs, which I think are wonderful. And here's one of them. Just remember, I'm in love with you. Just remember that you love me too. We'd be foolish letting troubles come between us. We'd be foolish when we know we love each other so. Just remember, love is give and take. Smile at each mistake for the other's sake. Hope I never that I love you. Just remember, love is give and take. Smile at each mistake for the other's sake. Hope I never make you blue, but if I ever do, just remember that I love you. Thanks, God. Thank you.
Well, Julie, we have lived quite a life, huh?
Well, it ain't over yet. But we have shared some years, haven't we? And, you know, a huge thing that we have to maybe credit Torsten a little bit is that we both found the loves of our lives on Royal Viking Line. And that's a huge thing. This happens to be my guy. Look at us on the ships when we met. And I have to tell you, he was a passenger.
What?
Yeah, you know. He walked up the gangway, and I'm telling you, the course of my life was changed forever. And now we've been married for 26 years. And so there you go, Royal Viking. Thank you. I know. I'm so proud of that. I love him.
And I met the love of my life on Royal Viking Line. And when I left the ship, we split ways and lived our own lives. And then just recently, Julie pulled some strings and made some phone calls to get us reconnected.
I am a matchmaker, so if anybody needs any help with that.
So about 3 years ago, we had a reunion, and now he is my partner and love of my life. So that's a Royal Viking love story right there, if I ever
You know,
heard
maybe
one.
that's a guarantee they should make. You know,
They should.
You'll find the love of your life on Viking ships.
That's
I think so. We went on through life together. You and I, we always stayed the same through these. I went on to, with Doug, we had a beautiful baby girl, Wynn. And there she is now, all grown up. Can you believe that? And of course, Diane has been a part of all that as well. In fact, Wynn
I
grew
love
up
Wynn.
knowing that if anything happened to Doug and me, she would go to you.
I was going to be her guardian.
That's
and
right.
I was kind of hoping that I would have that opportunity.
No, wait.
But,
no. But thankfully now, she's safely to 22, and it's all good. But
Missed my chance.
kind of second mama, Diane, for my Wynn.
Well, you had a beautiful daughter, and I believe that she's kind of my daughter too. But in Sacramento, California, I have a little girl as well. And we've got a picture of her up here. Yes.
Anybody mama to a dog? I am too.
She's a miniature golden doodle, and her name is Leilani. She also goes by Lonnie, and now that I am singing in Poland a lot, she's called Lanka.
Lanka. That's right. You were Dianka. And I was
Dianka
Yulcha.
and Yulcha. So we have had, I would say, some of the best times of our life with
We
Royal
have.
Viking, and now we're Vikings.
This has
again.
been an incredible journey, and to feel that we've come full circle from the best to the best, from Royal Viking to the Viking Sun. And so we are proud to have this opportunity, and what a joy for us to come together on stage. Thank you for coming
Thank
this
you so
evening.
much. This will be our closing number, and we wish you
Happy
safe
days.
travels on the way home tomorrow.
Forget your trouble.
Happy days
And just get happy.
are here again.
You better
The
chase all your across the river, for soon your cares will all be gone.
There'll be no more from now on. From now on.
Forget your troubles and just get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah and just get happy.
Happy times,
Happy times,
happy nights,
happy nights,
happy days are here again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Julie and Diane.
Kyle Mattingly. Thanks, Kyle.
What a wonderful time. What a nice reunion. Thank you so much for doing that for us. Wasn't that fun? We hope you had a wonderful time too, not just tonight, the entire cruise. Thank you for sharing this experience with us. Get home safe. Good night.